So it looks like pretty much on point there. As far as this like move higher through resistance, we stay above it briefly and we come back down through the same price level midday. It looks like we had a crest at about just a little after 130, and we had a crest here predicted at about 130, followed by this decline into a low. It looks like there's a low here between we have it here between 2 and like 3:15, and it looks like it takes place right here at 3 o'clock on the dot. And so we should see a pretty big move to the upside, I think. Well, some price swinging going on here in the last hour, but I think with a big move to the upside at some point here, reaching for a distant resistance. So we probably break through this resistance here. We at least meet this resistance here at like 433, I would expect at least. But don't get like too optimistic, because there is like off of the peak that forms here. Excuse me. There's decline through multiple support levels. So if you're in a short position from where did we have that short position? The 20th? End of day short position on the 20th, or again possibly on the 21st. End of day. If you opened up a short position on the 21st at the end of the day, I'd say probably today at the end of day is where you'd want to exit. Well, you'd want to exit around these lows, I should say. Not at the end of the day. You'd probably want to exit around these lows just to be like careful. There, we are talking about Monday afternoon being a good exit point for short positions, but if you didn't get in at the best point, I'd probably be prudent and get out at this level if there's a profit there to take. Hey, Conrad. Appreciate it. Did you say sell 10 to 20 minutes before the close if in a long? So if you got into a long position like here in the low here, I would probably wait until the close to exit. If you got into a long position down here, wait until the close to exit. Um, if you got into a short position a couple days back and it was kind of like was it a great idea or not, if you have an opportunity here to take profit, I would probably do so, unless you got in at a really good price and you weren't stressing about it at the last couple days. Then I'd say probably wait until the 26th. But like if you got in at not such a great place, like let's say you got in like into a short position when we were around like 435, I'd probably say exit post haste. Hey AU, let's take a look at Bitcoin. Nice. Okay, so we had this pretty big move to a highest high on the 23rd here. I think we probably still see more upside here into the morning of the 24th. It is possible that we see upside into the end of the day on the 24th, but we get a little I get a little risky there. End of day looks like there's a trade. But like basically tomorrow there's a resistance level that forms or a top that forms and we have a lot of price change. That's my sense. We probably have just a little bit more upside, I think, probably. But yeah, we should see a pretty big pullback, I think, starting somewhere on the 24th, leading into a trough that takes place towards the end of the day on the 26th, I think. Or maybe on the cusp of the 25th, 26th, actually. There's a notable trade here on the 24th, a notable short trade. Probably wait till end of day, open up a short position, and then close that short position the following day in the midst of a decline. There'll be a period of decline on a one-day chart, and in that period of decline, there should be a sharp drop that stands out again on the scale of a one-day chart there. Leading to like probably a trough on the 26th, but I think I'd probably take profits if I have opportunity on the 25th to take profits. I would probably take the profits there as far as a short position. Hey, Robert. Yeah, I would say, Conrad, then you got a good opportunity here end of day to close out for a good profit there. I'd say what you probably want to do here, Conrad, is when we get close to oversold territory, like when we get close to like the 80 mark on, just to be cautious, when we meet around like the 80 mark, I'd probably exit the long position. If you got a good little scalp in there, I'd probably take it at that point, not necessarily wait till the end of the day. Um, hey, Proof. Can Blur or ATA coin go up this weekend? Don't know if BTC, so we'll pull back weekend. So we should be seeing a pullback in Bitcoin very, very soon. I was just talking about that. Um, will Blur go up over the weekend? BLUR. I got a yes for that. It's going to meet a top or like a resistance, an important resistance level. If it's not in like a chart pattern, let me take a look, actually. Let me see. Blur. It looks like this one just started in February. Is it February? It started in March. So it looks like it'll meet over the weekend. It's gonna meet a key resistance level like on a multi-day kind of scale. So probably rise to meet that, and then ATA. Yeah, so ATA looks bullish too over the weekend along a diagonal trend line, possibly breaking through a horizontal resistance and then meeting a second resistance. Hey, Tabriz. Do I think we go lower next week in SPY? I think we go lower. I think we go lower. Like we might open higher Monday morning and then go lower into the afternoon. Let me see how I feel about that. Yeah. Okay. So I think we probably open higher in the pre-market with some like a lot of price change. We go from a high to a low in the pre-market, and then there's an unexpected move out of a low to meet a high again there in the first half hour, probably a little bit before 10 o'clock. We meet another high. And then I think it gets pretty bearish into like as we move into the remainder of the day into a day's low at the end of the day, and that's where I would get into exit a short position if I'm in a short position waiting for a good exit. And if I'm in a bad short position and I have opportunity to take a profit right now, I would do so. If I'm in a good short position, I'd wait until the end of the day on Monday. But yeah, I think we probably go lower on Monday. And then the end of the week is a little interesting because there's some conflicting kind of energies going on. Where did the 30th go? Why is it all the way in the front? That's interesting. Interesting. So then like on the 30th, right on the cusp of the 29th, 30th, I think there's probably a pretty big move to the upside, but it may be at a price level that's similar to the low of the 26th. And then there's like a big move to the upside, probably reaching for another peak or crest there. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Let's take a look at SPCE. Yeah, so this is that decline that was expected here. Pretty sharp decline here. The universe card in a lot of cases is going to show a gap down. I'm starting to see that more and more. Just the way that like the adjustment card in a lot of cases shows a gap up. The universe card is going to show a gap down. Not always, but a big move down. Often a gap down, and you can see that take place. But here over the weekend, we should see a pretty big move to the upside. I don't think we're going to see a highest high on the 26th based on this move, but it is possible. I mean, it's the Ace of Swords, so a ton of price change, something wild taking place. The Ace of Swords means a key resistance level will be highlighted. Sometimes it's a top. I kind of feel like it's a little difficult to believe it's going to be a highest high based on the move. But, I mean, that's the thing about SPC. When it moves, it really moves. But I would say this is probably a good time to get in. If you were looking for that opportunity to enter into SPC, now would be the time. Because what we've basically done is we've filled this gap here between 437 and roughly 470. But what we also did is we created a gap between 432 and roughly 443. So we need to fill that gap now. We'll probably do that on Monday.
Hey Hermes, you're a good boy, you know. Did you come to hang out with me? You're a good boy, you know. Such a good boy.
The ETH daily forecast for tomorrow. You want to go over here, buddy?
You're a good boy, Hermes.
Oops, those are the movies. X. There we go. Yeah, okay, so about 4 p.m., we revisited a support level that we recently met before. We should see like a poke higher here in the next hour. There should be a bit of a poke higher, probably even a possible like breakout, but doesn't look like that breakout holds. We meet a high there between like I'd say probably between like 6 and 10 somewhere, probably closer to 8 to 10, and then there's a sharp decline into a low there in the last 4 hours of the day. So this drop here at the end of the day here on the 23rd actually looks more like a sharp drop to me. Appreciate you, Conrad. You're welcome. You're welcome, AU. You're welcome, Proof. FOMO, fear of missing out. I didn't know that word. Do I think Netflix will hit 440 or 450 by the end of next week? This June reading was really off as far as the highs and the lows are concerned. I don't like this reading. This is a bad reading. So this is really one of my least favorite readings in a while, I gotta say. I'm gonna look into why this is so off. This is really off. There's a learning lesson in this reading somewhere. But based on this reading, I don't think we hit 450 next week. If we did, it would probably be on the 28th after a big move on the 27th. Do we hit 440 next week? I got a no for that. No 440 next week. How low can SPY hit on the 26th, 27th? $26, $27. Let's look at the daily there. Ace of Swords. Bottom of the range there. My sense is probably somewhere around there, around like the 430 mark. This this little resistance here, we should probably raise this just a little bit to like this. Around the 429.80, 430 mark, around there. And it might be that we move higher first, and then there's a really notable drop there into the second half of the day. Like, we might hit the science price level here first. Something also to point out, guys, we still haven't covered this unicursal. There's this unicursal energy here, right, which marks a price level when we go through like our next like significant multi-day decline. Usually, you go through the unicursal. If it doesn't immediately precede a sharp drop, like here on the 31st, there wasn't really a sharp drop. We just kind of went higher, and in fact, there was a gap. At some point, we need to cross this unicursal line again. I don't think we do that here at the in the end of June, just to be clear. Do I think SPY can hit 422 in July? Interesting. So, interesting. I think we probably do here in July. That might be what's I'm picking up on here. This kind of like jargon going on with the dark blue purple lines. I don't really know what I call this stuff yet, but it's pretty reliable for the most part. Sometimes it is responsible for throwing me off because I'm still learning its subtleties, but that could be what I'm picking up on here is that we meet that low again. Right, we have this low here. And then this highest high, this second highest high that we see here in July really could be here more so on the cusp of July or into August based on what I'm seeing. I think we probably do see we do see this gap filled here in July, but there should also be pretty bullish behavior going on as we exit July into June. I mean into August. Has anybody been following the Ethereum dailies for June? Just so you guys are aware, those aren't going to continue in July. It was just a June thing. That was a privately uh, ordered product. Somebody wanted the dailies for Ethereum for 30 days. First time we did the crypto for the daily, like that's why it's 2 hour blocks. But I think next time I do it, I'm probably going to do 1 hour blocks and raise the price because it's a lot of work. But I think it's more effective in 1 hour blocks for whatever reason. It's a little more difficult to read the order of things when it's a 2 hour block. You're welcome to Braze. I'm gonna take a look at SPC again. I'm really excited about SPC right now. So there was a sharp drop really in the end of May, and then we did a rally into late June that ends with a fast sudden move higher, and then a breakdown through the diagonal trend line. Reversal in July back to bullish behavior through July into August. And then there's a lot of like highest high stuff going on. It's a little hard to determine exactly where it is, because we might see it more than once, but there's a lot of bullish stuff going on here. Guys, if you're interested in following along with our SPCE trade, we first recommended it. Matter of fact, back it was like years ago actually when we first recommended it. It definitely did some pretty good moves since then. In 2020, around $11, we recommended it. Went all the way up here to $50, $60. We re-recommended it here. Went back up. We recommended it at the beginning of the year down here, and you've seen we've had some like minor successes there. If you're interested in getting involved in the SPC trade and you want to follow the actual trades that we're doing, there's a great way to support the channel. And you can do that here by subscribing for the SPC monthly subscription. If you use the SPC readings regularly, really, it's the right thing to do anyways. But basically what you do is you click down here, subscribe. It's $111 a month. And what you get are the best trades that we see for each month, entries and exits. We also talk about, when it's relevant, we talk about trades from like a multi-month standpoint. We talk about trades from a multi-year standpoint. When it's relevant, that's the type of information that you get in the paid versions. It's usually about between 3 and 7 minutes roughly of trade information that's added onto the end of the public version. And it's a really great way to support the channel. We know everybody that does that by name. You guys are the reason why we're here doing what we do. Couldn't do it without you guys. Hey, AV. When will SoFi and UPST decline more before recovery? AV, I'm not sure if I like the way that question is poised. I feel like it's going to get a blurred response. Do you want to reframe the question? Are you asking if they will decline more before there's a recovery, or if they start recovering right away? Like, try to rephrase that for me. Oh, so you're asking, will they decline more before recovery? Okay, so SoFi. Yeah, I got goes higher even in the face of seemingly overwhelming headwinds, or sometimes it's in the face of seemingly overwhelming negative technicals. And then UPST. Will UPST decline more before recovery? So UPST declines further, and it looks like SoFi turns around and moves higher. Tibraze, what do you mean you were following the monthly one? Unfortunately, I missed something. Did I screw you up somewhere? Would I recommend holding SPC into 2024? That's a tricky question. I want to do a reading for 2024. The reason why I say it's a tricky question is because if you look at the 10-year, it's all right. Let me open up the 10-year before I speak out of turn here. I'd really like to do a 2024 before I like concretely say yes, hold it through 2024, because what we're getting is an opportunity somewhere in 2024 to open up a short position before a low in 2026. But then like the following 10-year period is super bullish as we go into like 2027, 2028, 2029, and then the following 10-year period it gets super super bullish. So like it's a buy and hold from like a long term standpoint. There might be a better opportunity to get in 2026, but sometimes on the scale of like such a broad scale of like time frame, the lowest correlator doesn't end up being a lowest low, it just ends up being like a trough that stands out. Probably I would say hold it into 2024, but really what needs to be done is a 2024 1 year reading for SPC before I could say concretely. See, the sneak preview for 2024 is looking pretty definitively bearish. Oh, I got you, Tibrace. Gotcha. Yeah, well, there's still several days left of the dailies. Can I please provide a time frame for UPST, for example, hold through August or buy back in August? So, AV, do you hold it? Do you currently own it now, I'm guessing? Alright, so first we want to know if you want to buy, sell, hold. Looks like you want to sell, and then when do you want to buy back? Universe card. In like December, between December 21st and January 20th. That's when you'd want to buy it back. Oh, I totally missed your question, B. Sorry about that. Will there be a bright... Alright, so will your store be successful? Under the new ownership of Dish? Or how about, what will be the outcome? What will be the result of your store? Its health, its overall state under the new ownership of Dish? So I see a lot of growth. There's a lot of growth, a lot of changes, excitement. There's somebody with a lot of ambition kind of involved in the Dish. As far as Dish in general, or Boost, let's say Boost mobile store through Dish, or the company in general, let's say, with the company in general, not just your store. How about that? Your company in general. So I got the Devil card. Things may not appear as they seem with the company. So the company in general is not looking so good. So my sense is based on the fact that it was the Princess of Swords for your store, B, is that your store is going to go through a period of success and like invigoration and like expansion, growth. You should utilize that as an opportunity to maybe transition into something outside of that company, because the company overall doesn't look good. The store looks like it does well for a time, not maybe forever, but for a time. There's a good opportunity in there, if that makes sense. Wish I could give you better, more positive feedback, but that's what I'm picking up on there, B. Sorry I missed you. You're welcome, AV. Hmm. So that long position that you're holding on to there, Conrad, if you didn't exit, I would say probably exit if you get another opportunity here. But if it goes south from here, my sense is that we probably have a higher open, and then we go much more south towards the end of the day. So you might have opportunity at the beginning of the day on Monday too. If you've got profit to take here, I'd probably take it just to be on the safe side. But there is probably opportunity there first thing in the morning to exit as well. And what I would say, guys, is that what you want to do first thing in the morning at a key resistance level, that'll be key resistance on at least a 1-day scale, probably on a multi-day kind of scale there first thing in the morning. Probably in the pre-market, we go from a high to a low and then back to a high out of the open. Like we move higher out of the open to a high that takes place probably around 10 o'clock. If you can get into a short position at that key resistance, or if you miss that and you can get in there around 10 o'clock, I would say do so and hold that short position until the end of the day to exit. You might have another opportunity to get into a short position here around 1 o'clock possibly, but I would say the real opportunities are going to be here. You might even, in the midst of this move from a high to a low, if you're able to time it well and get in at a low as well, you could probably close that low position here when you open up the short position again. Do some like fancy back and forth trading, but you got to be nimble. Yeah, that was probably the smart thing to do, Conrad, to exit. So good for you, my man. Yum Brands end of year. My sense is that that's probably a good stock to be in, Yum Brands, based on my fast food kind of. I was picking up on fast food. Yeah, it looks like a fast sudden move higher into the end of the year there for Yum Brands. AV, LFMD. That's looking pretty bullish. We are kind of topping off here, but interesting. Should you continue to hold? I got a yes. You should hold. So next week for LFMD, let's see. It looks like Monday might be a good exit, actually. It starts out, the week starts off bullish and then goes bearish. You're welcome, B. All right, my friends, I'm gonna roll. It's time for that time for me to take my dog to the dog park, right, Hermes? Are you excited? We're gonna go to the dog park. He's like a big celebrity there. He says hello to everybody. Everybody knows him because he's a big boy. You're a big boy, Hermes. Oh, I know. I love you too. Thank you. Mwah. So as always, yeah, B, that's exactly what you should be thinking about doing based on what I saw on the cards. That's exactly what you should be thinking about doing. Flipping into something else. Utilize a good opportunity and growth in your store, or a good situation going on in your store to swap into something while the going's good. All right, guys. As always, remember to follow that rule of karma. You do so here at the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders. 5% of the profit should be donated to one of these charities. That guarantees abundance mentality. 5% of the profit should be donated back to the channel. That guarantees gratitude mentality. Those two combined with a clear conscience, which is what you get when you spend that money out of love, that'll give you a good manifestation of wealth, my friends. Make sure to follow those rules, and the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel. All right, my friends. I'll see you guys next